The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Back in the book segment tonight, Fox News Weekend guy and the former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee, was asked about President Obama's upbringing on the radio a couple of days ago.
One thing that I do know is his having grown up in Kenya. His view of the Brits, for example, very different than the average American. When he gave the bust back to
Winston
the Brits,
Churchill,
Winston Churchill, a great insult to the British. But then if you think about it, his perspective as growing up in Kenya with a Kenyan father and grandfather, their view of the Mau Mau revolution in Kenya is very different than ours.
Problem is that President Obama grew up in Hawaii and Indonesia. Joining us now from Oklahoma City is Mike Huckabee, the author of the brand new book, A Simple Government. So, Governor, how did that happen?
Well, honestly, it was about the 40th media interview of the day. You've done these things. If I'd read from my own text, page 183 of my book, I clearly said he grew up in Indonesia. It was a verbal gaffe. I immediately apologized. But that's not enough for the left-wing media in this country, Bill.
And we're not giving you jazz here. But a smart guy like you know, if you make a mistake like that, you're going to get hammered by the people who don't like you and want to see you diminished. And that's what happened here. But you, just to be clear, you understand or believe that President Obama's resume, born in Hawaii, and we checked this out as factors, and we know it's true, moved to Indonesia as a young boy with his crazy mom. And I say that not in a bad way, but she was a little eccentric, let's be honest. And then he comes back to Hawaii to be raised by his grandparents, never really sees his father. I don't think he even traveled to Kenya as a child. All of that is true, correct?
That's absolutely true. You know, I've been one of those people that said that I don't have any doubts about his American birth. I've been adamant about that on every interview. Anyone who says otherwise has simply not either read what I have written, they've not listened to what I've said. You know, this was a verbal gaffe. It's the first I've ever made. I actually wish it were true. I've made a lot of them. And by the way, Bill, I'm going to make some more before,
Can you make one now, though? I mean, can you say something crazy now?
About having gone to all 57 states?
You actually
I could say that.
You actually made a valid point about President Obama and his outlook on the world, because his father and grandfather are from Kenya, and they have a very different view of the British in Kenya because of the Mau Mau uprising against the British colonists there who were running the government. So, I mean, that's legitimate. It's just that he wasn't in Kenya.
And my point really, even about talking about him being raised in a different country, actually Indonesia, not Kenya, as I do understand. Again, it's right there in the book for me to read and everybody else if they care to. But the point that I do want to make is that creates a different worldview. This is not a kid who grew up, going to Boy Scout meetings and playing Little League baseball.
He is
in a small
town. He is not a traditional guy. He's a guy who's had a lot of life experience that is different from the mom and apple pie upbringing. Now, A Simple Government. We had Morris on before. Dick Morris got a competing book with yours in the marketplace. Is basically your vision, and see, Morris's book is about how to get Obama out of there. But A Simple Government is your vision about how the country should be run. It's not an anti-Obama book, is it?
No, in fact, page 1, I make it very clear. I don't have a personal thing about Obama. I don't question his patriotism. I question his policies. I think it's wrong for us always to think that somebody hates America. I don't think that of Barack Obama. That makes me sort of a persona non grata with some conservatives. But, Bill, I question virtually every policy that he has, from foreign policy to the health care agenda to how he's dealing with the economy to the border security. And on those issues, I don't mind saying that, Teddy Roosevelt's idea, this is one of the quotes I make, his was speak softly and carry a big stick. Barack Obama's is make apologies and throw away the stick. And I think as a result, the world's a more dangerous place. So that's what I try to address.
And those are legitimate views from anybody in the public arena. Now, as you may know, Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum, Fox News commentators as you are not going to work here anymore because they pretty much said they're going to run for president. What's your status on that? You're on the payroll. I know you're going to be doing your weekend show upcoming. And where's that stand?
Well, so far, I'm not answering any calls if the caller ID says Fox News. I don't want to take
That's
the
what
call.
I do. Because I know they're going to just be bitching.
But, what I'm trying to tell people is, I'm going to make this decision later. I'm going to make it in the summer. And if people say it's too late, then it's too late. But right now, I'm under contract with Fox. I'm honoring that contract. I like what I do, and I'm going to stick with it for the time being.
All right, Governor. Thanks very much. Good luck with the book. We appreciate it.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.